Hey guys, it's Yolanta from Soul Light Space. I'm astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video I'm gonna show you how you can work with your chart during the whole cycle of Mars in Gemini from August till March next year, during full moon in Gemini happening now December 8th, and also Mars retrograde happening till January next year. So it's a big cycle. First of all, we're gonna try to help you during this full moon time because it's a stressful one indeed. And also I'm gonna connect this to the rest of cycles that I mentioned. So if you want to join, please welcome. This will be like a free astrology consultation for you. And before we start, 3 things I would like to ask you. First of all, as we are in the full moon period, this is also the time for purification for the body, not only soul. Remember that we are in this nodal journey towards Scorpio, so Scorpio is about the soulful kind of thing, and Taurus is connecting us to our body, our physical world. So please find yourself a cup with water, and please come back to me with this water. So let's drink together because this will help us to purify our body on a physical level. Full moons are perfect for purification of toxins, so we can start a few days before full moon to really nurture yourself with water. The best water for this time is actually warm water because this also calms down your nerves. And during full moon, as you know, tension grows, especially full moon connected to Mars, like is happening now, and in Gemini, that's our nervous system. This energy can be very it's easy to feel anxious during those times. So warm water, perfect solution. So this is my first request. I mean, that's not a request, you have free will, but this is my suggestion. Second one, if you could find yourself a piece of paper and something to write, because I'm gonna give you a few dates to reflect during this self-grow work that I would like to invite you to join right now in this video. Let's use this full moon in a nice way, because every single event in astrology has thousands of possibilities what you can do with this day. And I do see also a lot of potential for this full moon to help us to release some stuff. So I'm gonna give you some dates to think about them, to connect the dots, to think about your own personal path in all of that, okay? So the previous video that, the link is down below. If you haven't seen yet, I recommend you to see it, because there I explain the big cycle of Gemini and the lesson of previous nodes, and everything is connected to the energy happening right now and also the energy that is coming. So it's really worth to watch this video and reflect also with this what I'm saying there. But this one will be very practical, so you need paper to write on and something to write. And the third thing, you need your natal chart. The best thing would be if you could watch me here and have your chart on another device, if you have computer and phone, if you can combine them together. So this will be the easiest way. Then we're gonna have a very easy process of you listening to me and seeing everything I am talking about in your chart directly, okay? So cheers to the full moon. Okay, so this full moon is happening right in the middle of Mars retrograde. So we can start with this one dot, December 8th. This is the full moon, this 10th day, right? And then if we go bigger, then we have Mars retrograde. Okay, so from December 8th, we make a bigger picture. So this cycle, I will check just in case I wrote the date, so I will be 100% sure everything's correct. So from October 30 till January 12th, this is the retrograde of Mars. And Mars is right on the full moon. Okay, so full moon is in conjunction to Mars in Gemini at 16 degrees, and then this is right in the middle of Mars retrograde, October 30, January 12th. So we have like a big process with one dot inside, okay? And this dot is like a highlight of this process of Mars retrograde. So you can expect that this full moon is very much connecting you to this whole retrograde process. And then a part of retrograde, we have Mars in general being in Gemini, also for like extraordinary long time. This cycle, Mars in Gemini, started in August 20th. So you see full moon, Mars retro, Mars in Gemini. Okay, and everything is in Gemini. Okay, so Mars in Gemini from August 20 till March 25th next year. Look how long is that, right? That means that you really, in order to understand the cycle, you need to now check in your chart your Gemini energy. Find your house where you have Gemini. I use Placidus, I don't use whole sign, so I will not give you the information for Libra rising, Gemini rising, what does it mean for you, because this is not the system I use. This doesn't work for me, with all respect for whole sign people out there. Every astrologer uses the system that it works better for them, and I find more depth and information in Placidus for my own research, so I keep it there. So I have 2 houses in Gemini, but retrograde is happening in one of them in particular. So you just need to find Gemini in your chart. And now we're gonna work with degrees as well. So you're gonna have more detailed observation of your own energy as well. So then look at this. Mars started to be in Gemini on August 20, yes, and it's gonna stay in the sign of Gemini till March 25. That means for you that your house in Gemini, in your particular house, will be the home for Mars energy all this time. And Mars is conflict, aggression, anger, also passion, drive, what makes you go for things. Wherever we have Mars transiting in our chart, we feel more active in this area of our life. It's like we want to do more of this. We feel more passionate. Also, we might be a little bit more like impulsive, risk-taking, because Mars is this instinct, this raw energy. You do things without thinking sometimes, and this being in Gemini, actually, it's not that much about doing, but about using words, communication, social media, internet to do something, because this is what Gemini is all about. Also learning, courses, languages, travel, especially this short distance travel. This is also driving a car, many different things, all connected to Mercury energy. So this cycle of Mars being in Gemini, it's inviting us to use all those Gemini things to take action. Communication, right? Learning something new, courses. So from August 20, when Mars entered Gemini, you might reflect actually what you started to do more actively, what maybe something changed suddenly. And connect this to your house. If it's second house, then finances. Maybe something suddenly shifted in finances. Maybe you started to reflect about how much you spend, how much you save, how you invest money, how your business is going. If it's in its axis is second house, 8th house, so both can activate this sort of themes. If it's an axis of, for example, 3rd and 9th house, then this is a typical house of this Gemini Sagittarius axis that we have now going on the full moon. So traveling, learning higher knowledge, taking some course, learning languages, traveling. A lot of things could show up. That's why, you know, I don't like to do this sort of things like general horoscope for Libra rising or Taurus rising, because we don't get the proper information. You also need to see your aspects. You need to see if you have something in Gemini house, if there are planets, maybe there's your north node. So then if the full moon is happening on your north node or close to them, then you have like your own personal eclipse right now happening, because full moon is activating your nodes, and this is what eclipse is all about. So you have a very strong full moon right now happening. So you really want to connect to this energy in your own chart and see what is going on there exactly. Again, if you have problems with that, if what I'm talking about right now is too much for you, too difficult, I always invite you guys to have a reading with me, because that's why I'm here also to help you. That's why I was studying so many years, to just, you know, help you in 1 hour, so you don't need to study for 10 years or 5-10 years astrology now to reach the level when you will be able to see correctly your chart. Okay, so anytime you need a reading, I'm here for you. Also, link is down below. You can find my website, my offer, and booking is very simple. You just find your reading on my website and you write me an email, and then I guide you further. So also horoscopes for 2023, if any of you would like to be guided through the next year to, you know, avoid problems and reach the highest potential of the energy served for you by universe, then of course also we can do this type of reading. I need to drink a little bit because I feel like my throat chakra is not working well. And Gemini is connected to throat chakra. That's the funny thing. So, you know, and we have Mars retro now in Gemini, which is again throat chakra. So blockage, some sort of slowdown, you know. So some of you might also have this problem. But anyways, if you found your Gemini house, if you know now that from August 20 till March 25 next year, this house is on focus for you in order to take action, use your communication, use your skills, use your learning, your courses that you took in the past, you know, improve your strategy in order to reach your goals next year when Mars will be direct again in January. Then this is the most important thing for you. You know where to focus on. You know what area of your life is activated by this Gemini energy. So then things get easier. You are not in this chaos and mess. You know where to focus the energy. For example, during the full moon. And now if we go even further, remember that nodes were in Gemini, I mean Sagittarius Gemini, but the direction of our learning, karmic learning, was towards Gemini. This was from May 2020 till January this year. So we have a very organized plan for us to really learn about Gemini. And I see here a very important, strong message from whatever, from universe, from energy, that we really need to work on our Gemini energy. There is something going on here, because look, like first nodes in Gemini, you know, learn about Gemini, embrace more of Gemini energy, reflect how, you know, Gemini is very much about media, about absorbing information, searching for information, searching for facts, true facts, not being, you know, like fooled by fake news, but, you know, searching yourself for everything. Also learning new skills. You know what happened in 2020? Many people were stuck in houses, and look what happened. Like, so many people entered into social media, internet. The whole education system went into online system. And also many people started to learn a lot of things because they were at home, they had nothing to do, no job. So they started to learn new skills. This is Gemini, you know, coming back to be a student again and learning. So you know, this was everything. You know, remember, nodes are global. Nodes are eclipses and nodes together. This journey of those transits, they are collective for all of us. And look what happened globally from 2020. How education system also changed. Till now, many people are just online, you know, working, studying. They didn't came back to the physical, right? So this is the nodal journey. So if you want to mark this date, then May 2020, January 2022, this was the nodal journey in Gemini. So we ended this lesson, karmic lesson of learning about that in January. And then a few months later, we had the new moon on May 13th this year. So this is another date you can mark, like if you want to go with chronology. So May 13th, new moon in Gemini. New moon starts something. We set intention. We plant the seed. Yes, so you can come back to your life in the end of May, first days of June. If you maybe had some thoughts about starting something new project. Gemini is very much connected also to, you know, traveling, maybe something connected to transport, maybe something connected to business. So, you know, Gemini is also like selling things. This is the business energy. Working online, starting something new in those matters, communication. Maybe you are thinking about some new studies, some new course, and you didn't complete that vision. Now you can reflect during this full moon if you were able to complete, and if not, then how you can complete this cycle, because we are ending now this cycle. From new moon till full moon, from May 30 till December 8th. This is the cycle of the moon in Gemini, and it's over then, okay? So new moon starts and full moon ends. And with full moon, we are also asked to first release what is not serving us in the sign of Gemini, in our own energy, in the house of Gemini that you have, and also complete everything. You know, Mars in Gemini since August could create also, especially with retrograde motion, could create some sort of conflicts for some of you, some misunderstandings, some problems with communication, with transport, with travel, maybe some blockages, some slowdowns, some delays, something also again connected to car. Maybe you want to buy a car and something, you know, how or sell it on the other way, or you want to move somewhere. So, you know, all those themes, whatever comes to your mind in your house of Gemini when I'm explaining those cycles, then try to reflect about how you can complete the cycle, this lunar cycle, now on December 8th, and also what you can leave in the past, how you can make peace with the past as well, because we are cleaning also a little bit this year with this full moon. This is the last full moon of this year, and this is about letting go. You know, this is something, this is the last action that you need to take to close something, okay? Very much connected to words as well. So maybe you need to send some message, maybe you need to fill some form to receive some document, to maybe apply for, I know, passport. Maybe you need to fix something on this level as well, you know, emails, phone calls, you know, try to reflect and fix all this kind of stuff before this full moon if you can, because this energy asks for ending and closure. And then we have this full moon on 16 degrees, and now it's in retrograde. I mean, 16 degrees, I think about Mars, also full moon, but Mars is like on the same exact degree as full moon. So we have Mars retrograde in Gemini 16 degrees on December 8th, full moon. And if you want to see also some pattern in your life, then think about September 22nd, around this date, because around this date Gemini, Mars in Gemini was at the same degree, 16 degree, end of September. What happened around that time? Especially, again, connect this to what your house in Gemini means. What kind of themes shows up for you in this house? Maybe you had some idea, some vision, some project in your mind. You had some plan, some thoughts. Maybe you were searching for something that I don't know, you wanted to buy something, you wanted to move something. Again, this travel, transport is all the time connected to Gemini. Maybe you were thinking about applying for something, maybe searching for new job, new course. You wanted to learn something, a language. Now you can reflect how you can make a completion of this idea. Final thought. Maybe you will find some final illumination about how you can do it during the full moon, because full moon is also bringing awareness. Sun is shining on the moon, and moon is full. The moon is full of light, and this is the illumination for us as well. So that's another date, September 2022, for you to connect the dots, because similar thoughts could happen around this date. But in September, Mars was in full action. Mars was direct, and now Mars is paused. We need to rethink, reflect, reevaluate that idea from September and all that came around this date for us, and think about maybe we change our mind, or maybe we need to find another strategy how to do it, or maybe we need to say goodbye to something. Maybe we need to complete this chapter of our lives and move on, because maybe we had a bad idea. Maybe now we see that was not the right decision. That's why Mars retro is here to help us to reevaluate our action, our communication, and our mindset as well. Maybe we were actually having the wrong mindset during that time in September when this idea came out to us. So think what you are doing since the end of August. What themes were activated for you, and what came to your mind around the September 20th in context to your house of Gemini. And then you will see clearer where you need to focus your energy during the full moon to complete something, okay? This can be a positive thing. It doesn't have to be anything negative. Nothing is negative or positive in astrology. We make it positive or negative with our action, with our reaction to the energy. So please never be afraid of some energies. This is your cycle, and whatever happens in your life, then you have always free will to respond to that. Use this challenge in some way. If you feel tense now, if you feel nervous, then also maybe something in your energy needs to feel this sort of energy as well, because sometimes this is similar to squares in astrology, like two forces creating this tension, and from that action comes. That's why there is so many people are so dynamic and activated by full moons. They cannot sleep. There's a lot of passion. Some people are yelling. There's fights, even if you from what I know from statistics from police stations, there's way much more going on during full moons in terms of people fighting, some violence. That's because all this energy accumulated is going out widely in a very impulsive way. And sometimes we need this tension, because from this tension we finally release it, and we finally also have some clarity about what was bothering us. Okay, so this full moon is about letting go, about resolving old conflicts. If you had some conflicts in the last few weeks or even months, or even you can think from May 30, you know, about this whole 6 month cycle, lunar cycle. Maybe some conflicts showed up, and maybe you would like to finally fix this problem, fix what is bothering you. And on internal level, because you know Mars is retrograde, it's all about going inwards. Think about your belief system, your thoughts, how you actually use your thoughts when you take action. Are your thoughts supporting you taking action, or are your thoughts blocking you and stopping your Mars energy, which is action, going forward, moving, risk taking, not being afraid? You know, Mars is the energy that just go for it. You know, this energy goes for what he or she wants. And with the wrong mindset, with limiting thoughts, you will not go anywhere. Yes, you will get stuck in your fear. And I have even the card. I like to show you this card. Let's see if you can see it well. Yeah, so here's the position of a person that is not using thoughts in the right way, but it's stuck in anxiety, worrying, panic, fear. Again, watch out with media. Please watch my previous video. I spoke about media, how media create this sort of energy in us as society. So that's very important to keep in mind. Keep this card in mind whenever you see something in media, okay? And this card then also develops into depression, heavy anxiety, not sleeping at night, being just worrying all the time, and being stuck in action. You don't know what to decide, you don't know what to do. Gemini duality, it's like being in between two things, right? And with wrong mindset, you cannot decide anything. You don't know where to go. No path shows up for you because you are blinded by your own thoughts. So this whole cycle of Gemini for me, from May 2020 with nodes in Gemini till March 2023 next year, when we're gonna end the Mars in Gemini, it's all about releasing anxiety, about teaching us how to search also for information by ourselves from the right sources, and being very clear in our mental energy and not letting those toxic thoughts producing anxiety in us. Also remember, now nodes are in Taurus, so we supposed to go towards peaceful, slow life. So anxiety is separating you from this sort of life. So if you want to reach more of Taurus energy, this relaxing, peaceful being in here and now, and more into the body, more into the physical world, being more connected to nature, then you really want to learn with this Gemini cycle if you haven't yet. Because we had a great lesson in 2020 about what media can do to our mind, how we can be easily manipulated, and how we can easily turn to be slaves of the system by listening to experts without checking those experts, who they truly are, what they truly represent, and without checking, investigating, challenging. Whatever you cannot discuss with, and you need to just take it as a truth. For me, this is not science, this is propaganda. Science is always open to discussion. Science is always open to be challenged. And that's the way how we develop science. And Pluto in Aquarius will develop science a lot. Aquarius is high technology, modern stuff, futuristic stuff. So I expect that it's gonna be like the extreme progress in technology, medicine, all that it's connected also to internet. I think we're gonna reach a very high level of that. So again, we have this lesson about science too here, what is science and what is not science, but manipulation. Okay, let me see if I have something more to tell you here. I think I told you all the most important dates. Maybe just for you to also know, Mars retrograde started. Maybe I will give you all the degrees. So new moon Gemini in May. This happened at 9 degrees. So if you have something there, you can have a look, connect this to your planets close to 9 degrees. You can count like around 9. Then Mars retrograde started in October at 25 degrees. So at 25 degree Gemini in your chart, retro started and things started to move backwards. And now this Gemini moved backwards and is now at 16 degrees Mars retro. So now 16 degrees is activated in your chart. So whatever you have in mutable signs around those degrees, they are activated most tensely by this full moon. And then Mars will, after the full moon, will continue going backwards till reaching 8 degrees. In January, Mars direct will start at 8 degrees on January 12th. Okay, so Gemini 8 degrees. So you see new moon 9 degrees and then Gemini, and then Gemini 8 degrees, almost same position in January. So it's also some sort of like, you know, cycle. The same place in your chart that was touched in the end of May will be also touched by this full motion, this full power of Mars again in the mid-January. So I see this as a very wise cycle, that first we got this taste of Gemini, because in August Gemini and September Gemini was direct. So, you know, there could be a lot going on in your house of Gemini, because Gemini is fast moving. Mercury is the fastest planet. It's like very, very fast. So you could do a lot of things in your Gemini house in the end of August and September and October as well. And then in the end of October, suddenly things shifted and it went a little bit slower. You started to review your attitude in this house. There could be some delay, and you could also be more focused on the past and of, you know, completing those past projects. So now in the middle of this process in retrograde full moon, you can try to complete some stuff in your house of Gemini. And then January, mid-January, we are starting again the same cycle that we had in September, but now with more knowledge about ourselves, hopefully with more soul growth. Hopefully you guys are and will be continuing working on your communication skills, of how you use your words. Remember that words have power. You can destroy with words. With just few words, you can destroy another person for years. You can build up a person for years. The same with your projects. If you create the right thought about yourself, that it's empowering you, and if you believe in yourself with this thought, then you can start so many amazing things in your life without, you know, procrastination, without limiting yourself. And then at the same time, if you think that you are not able to make it, you are right. You create your world, you create your reality. You know, this world is an illusion. We all see the world from a subjective way. My mind sees the world in a different way than every single one of you. Nobody sees the world like me exactly, because my mind is totally different than each of yours, and every person in the world can say the same as I just said. We create our reality. This is the power of the mind. And if you connect this also to Jupiter being now in Pisces for the last time till December 20, and this is the great manifestation time. We can use Jupiter in Pisces for the next 2-3 weeks to manifest what we desire, to really create the reality we want with our thoughts, with manifestation, with affirmations. This is what I'm doing and it's working. So I really recommend you guys. Pisces has no limits. Pisces is very spiritual, connected to dreams, connected to feelings, emotions. So whatever landscape of emotions, of feelings, of beliefs you create now in your mind, this is growing with Jupiter in Pisces. And again, look how smart, because Pisces is more passive, it's more about feeling than doing. So it's really great for this fantasizing about what you desire. And then December 20, we shift to Aries, Jupiter from Pisces to Aries. So Aries is all about action again. Aries is this energy of Mars. So first Jupiter will enter Aries in the end of December, so we will definitely feel way much more active from that day, from those days. And then shortly later, on January 12th, Mars, which is also ruling Aries, also starts to be direct. So you see, it's like we are really in the last moment of this slow motion energy. And in 1 month from now, we're gonna start to feel so many shifts, and we will be more like into doing things, taking actions, taking risks. So now is the last final time for us to work on our thoughts, on our mental energy with this Gemini energy. So use this full moon to release everything that it's not serving you. Think what might not serve you in January, once the energy will start to be direct and you will be now really able to take the action. What was blocking you till now? What kind of thoughts you create about yourself that are disempowering you? What kind of thoughts about reality, about the world you have that are also stopping you, blocking you? Maybe you have some sort of thinking patterns that are really so unhealthy that you cannot live the life in the way you want. And again, connect this very strongly to your Gemini house. Gemini house, this is the place in your chart where you want to look for. And the last thing about this full moon, not full moon, but Gemini energy, is that keep in mind that we also have this challenge of illusion. And again, as I told you, we create our reality. So we live in a dream, all of us. Each of us has our, my own, your own illusion in the way how we perceive the world, right? So we had 3 squares to Neptune. Mars squaring Neptune. First, Mars was direct and squared Neptune for the first time on October 11th. So another day to mark. October 11th, think in the context of illusion, of lies, manipulation, of false promises, this type of things that creates confusion. Next one was on November 19th. So 19th, that was Mars retrograde squaring Neptune. So that was even worse because we were already having this energy of frustration that things doesn't move so well, and we were more introspective than moving forward. And at the same time, Neptune came again with this fog confusing us. So one more time, think how your mind is lying to you also, how you lie to yourself, how you self-sabotage yourself. Maybe you create your own reality in your mind, which has nothing to do with reality in the end. And you live in this bubble thinking that things look that way, and then you don't move at all, blocked by those thoughts. And we're gonna have the final third square with Neptune, Mars Gemini squaring Neptune, on March 14th. So this will be next year, almost in the end of this process of Mars being in Gemini. So 3 squares with illusion, 3 meetings of your mental energy and of you using your thoughts to take action, using your communication skills, your words to take action, to get what you want. Those things are challenged by your you creating or living in illusion, in confusion, and lies, and self-sabotage, in escapism, also escaping tendencies, you escaping from reality into your own mind instead of facing reality. Apply this please to your house, again, Gemini house, especially if it's financial stuff, because finances are now really in a big focus because of the nodal journey. Taurus Scorpio talks about finances. So if this is happening in your second house or eighth house, also sixth house, 10th house related to work, then think about that also. If maybe you didn't create some sort of illusions that are now stopping you on your growth, on increasing your wealth, on increasing your abundance. Think about your mindset about money. If you feel like you deserve to be rich actually or not. Same with work. Do you feel like you deserve to have a better position at work? If you dream about changing your job or being higher in position, or maybe your thoughts are limiting you and you don't go further because you don't believe you can. You don't believe in yourself. Taurus, North Node in Taurus is self-worth, self-love. We are learning now in this next nodal journey after Gemini. Next journey, now, okay? I'm maybe confusing you too much. And now we have these nodes in Taurus, Scorpio. We are now learning to value ourselves, to believe in ourselves, to know that we are worthy. Okay, so use this energy as well to remove all those mental patterns that are not serving you for anything. In this Gemini house, especially now, full moon is about letting go. Where you need to let go? In your house in Gemini. And now with this Mars retro, why you need to let go of those things in your house of Gemini? Because next year in January, you're gonna take action in this house. So you really want to take this action in a proper way. And you want to be ready to take this action. Maybe you still need to learn something again. Preparation. Review everything you can. Because definitely January will bring more activity in this house. Right now we are stopped. Right now we are rethinking this inner script that we have. And also, again, issue with anxiety. Please remember this card all the time. Mars retrograde, full moon in Gemini. See if you don't have this problem. I think most of us have, because it's so easy to get stuck in your thoughts. But now we have this full moon in Gemini, and the energy around full moon can be a bit like tower. Some people might explode. You might receive some sudden revelation, some secret can come to the surface. Somebody can suddenly write to you, tell you something, explode on you. You might have suddenly some fight, right? But you can also have this internally, this tower moment of awakening, because this is also the energy of awakening. Your mind suddenly sees, okay, so that was the thing that was stopping me. Time to release that with this full moon, It's not serving me. I don't want to have this thought about me anymore, okay? And then full moon, it's about, sun and moon meeting in opposition. So sun with this illuminating light is, bringing light to your hidden part, to your subconscious. Moon is representing the subconscious mind, our emotional needs. And this moon now is, I don't have anything here to I didn't prepare something that would show me the energy of Mars, but let's use the tower. Tower is also this sort of energy. So now we have conjunction of Mars, which is aggression, anger, and explosion, and together with moon, right? And look how tarot is cool to show astrology. And then on the other side, sun in Sagittarius, illuminating, showing big picture of this Gemini and Mars retrospection, showing you with this bright energy the truth. You see clearer what is going on in your energy. So embrace this full moon. Really, full moon brings a lot of fantastic energy always if we collaborate with the energy. And again, Mars retro is a little bit like this card, reflect, Try to see things from another side, upside down. Try to see your situation from a perspective, turn 180 degrees, turn the wheel upside down and see your situation from another eyes. It's very helpful. Again, Gemini is communicating with others. It's duality. Maybe you can ask your friends to show you your situation, how they see your situation. Sometimes receiving feedback from another person can really help us to see that we are stuck in some weird pattern, some thoughts that, it's when you are alone and you only think about your situation and you don't let others know about them, those thoughts, then you lose the chance to receive more perspective about your situation. So I really recommend you, Gemini is about talking with people, to share how you feel with another person and show your situation to others, and just enrich yourself with other vision, because as I mentioned, every mind sees your situation in another way. So it's really good to share. It's really good not to be alone only with your thoughts, like hermit card in tarot, that it's just sitting alone and thinking about life, disconnected from the rest. Because this card, although it has potential a lot to receive this higher knowledge from your inner world, but then when you are disconnected from others, you kind of lose the chance to also use thoughts of other people who might maybe know better than you, right? And then remember, January, actually December 20, Jupiter in Aries, action slowly starts, but then full time in January, mid-January. So December, end of December, we have the first spark with Jupiter, and January 12th, we have like a full action, full moving. So guys, last time for you. No, last time, I'm joking, but it sounds like, okay, time to get stuff done, right? So again, Mars retro from end of October to January 12th. This is your time to learn as much as you can about managing your thoughts, about resolving conflict, about your communication patterns, about your thinking pattern, about how you use your mind to achieve your goals, the way how you learn, the way how also your mind maybe stops your action. We need to review our mental pattern in context of us taking action. And taking action is in every house. In every house we are doing something. In 7th house you create relationships. So you apply what I just said to your relationship energy. How you solve conflict with your partner, how you communicate and stuff like that. If it's 6th house, then health, diet, how you treat your body, also you in with coworkers, your relationships with coworkers and at work, how you actually perform in your working place. And I could write a book about every house. So I don't want to start because this video will be again super long, like always my videos. I have a problem with making them short. So let's slowly finish that. You can easily find the description of houses in the internet. I also posted today a post with, in the comment section you will find a description of houses. So it's easy to see what this can mean for you once you know where is Gemini in your house, in your chart. And last few tips for the full moon. So 3 days before full moon and 3 days after full moon, we can feel exhausted, tired, we can feel stressed, we can have headaches. We need to drink a lot of water again for purification, and warm water will help you to release the stress. Try to channel your anger in a physical way, do some sport, go to the gym, go to nature, ground yourself in nature, meditate, listen to the music that calms you down. If you feel like you are too conflictive inside and combative and aggressive and you cannot control yourself, try to just avoid conversations for a while. You can ask for another time to talk. Try not to respond to provocations. People around you might also be under this full moon energy. Also, when you drive the car on the road, be careful. It might be, I would really drive slowly during this time, because some people might be, when moon is in conjunction to Mars, this can be tricky. This can be a bit aggressive, a bit. So also at the same time, follow your energy. If you feel like you need to talk right now with somebody, do it, because maybe that's your path. Because it happened to me also sometimes that was like, I just followed the energy and it brought some sort of a resolution, some sort of completion, some sort of illumination for my life. So sometimes those full moons are making us so tense and nervous because that activates us to do something about things that we were avoiding to do in the past, especially if it's about, some difficult stuff related to, maybe you need to send some message, some document, some email that you don't really even know how to write. It's like challenging for you. You don't know what kind of words you should use. So this energy can help you actually to activate you to do it, but think twice what you say, because words you will say now you might not take back and you might regret later what you said. And so be self-aware, observe yourself, observe your energy, see how you feel. If you are really in control of what is going on, or you are too wild, too raw, and things might go too bad if you start conversation with somebody, for example. So it's all about your personal energy, all about your story. Again, if I don't see the chart and story of somebody, I cannot say much. But just, pause before you, hit this send button. Also, before you talk, maybe first it's good to, take the paper, write it down in a raw way, knowing that you will not send it, knowing that nobody will see that, so then you can really say how you feel. And it can be writing badly to somebody with bad words, like offending somebody, being just very mad, and expressing this on paper before you start the proper conversation, because once you write it down, it's released, it's gone. You don't feel this that much anymore. You can then just trash this paper and then talk to that person in a calm way. So that's a very effective way of releasing anger without creating too much conflict in your life. Because anger is, first of all, needs to be expressed, and doesn't have to be even expressed directly to the person. Once you release, then you go and you talk in a mature way, with arguments, with facts, with some calm energy, maturity. Okay, so review whatever shows up for you that needs some fixing, that it's bothering you, that it's unresolved. This is the time to closing that. We are ending this. We are cleaning the space. We are removing the past, old problems, old conflicts, old ways of doing things, old ways of thinking about us, our life. This all needs to be gone, and we close the chapter with the full moon, and then we start slowly to prepare for the January, making our thoughts supportive, making our thoughts more positive or action oriented, not those that are stopping us, like, I'm not gonna do it, it's not gonna work anyway, so no point to even start. If you have this type of thoughts, try to transform them in the next few weeks while we have Mars retro. And then in January 12th, on 12th, you will be prepared for the new cycle, and then your Gemini house will meet you in a new transformed way, and then you will be able to really use this Gemini energy of learning, finding information, communicating, talking, sending this email, sending this message, making this call, making this travel, buying this travel ticket, and flying away wherever you want, buying this car or renting this car, or sending your CV, sending this application for visa, for passport, for whatever. You will be direct in this, you will be empowered in this. But first, everything starts with thoughts. Your thoughts create your life. Everything starts with thoughts. So this is our revision area. I hope that all of that was quite clear for you, and I hope that you took some notes, and now you can reflect about your own journey, apply it to your house, and also not being so, please don't be stressed about this full moon. And nothing in astrology is here to hurt you. Things are happening for us to challenge us, to make us grow. So use every single event in astrology in your favor, to your advantage. You can do it. I'm doing this all the time. Everything is lesson for me. I always win. I always get something positive from every event, even if it's in the beginning difficult. But challenges make us grow. So I hope that helps. That was a very, again, quite complex video, but here you really have everything you need to know about this transit of Mars being in Gemini, of Mars being retrograde in Gemini, of new moon, full moon cycle this year in Gemini. So, and nodes previously being in 2020 till January this year in Gemini. So you see, Gemini, universe has some important message about Gemini to us. I really do see it. It's such a big focus on Gemini. So guys, if you want to learn something, I would explore Gemini sign, what this means, what this archetype represents, what Gemini means in astrology, and try to learn about this archetype, because we are really asked to review that. And remember, shadow side of Gemini is anxiety, having too many thoughts, having chaos. I don't know why I'm saying chaos in our mind, to the point that we don't know what to do, and we have no sense of direction, and our energy is not in focus but spread in thousands of ways, and in the end we are just stuck in the mind. So reflect about the side of you. That's all I have for you. I hope that helped. If you want to share some comment with me, please welcome down below. You can write a message for me if you want. You can let me know what you discovered during this video about your houses, about your story, about your patterns. You can let me know at least where is Gemini in your chart. And if you liked this video, if you like this kind of approach to astrology, like big picture and showing more than just one event, making you more aware of the whole cycle. If you like something like this, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, because that's how I am. Probably my videos will look more or less like that, even though we will see I'm just starting this channel. So it's a new thing for me, and I'm also experiencing myself in this new position of recording videos. I was not doing that before. That started this autumn. So very interesting journey for me, and I'm always happy if I receive some feedback, if there's something that you would like to share with me, so feel free to do it. And everything you need is in the link tree, which is here also in the box. You have there my Instagram, my Facebook, where I share insights about daily updates about astrology. So please welcome for those short reminders. And yeah, that's all. I wish you a good time. I hope you will find your way to deal with this tension. Try to relax, try to avoid stressful situations, try to meditate, breathe deeply, try to deeply breathe during this time, and breathe 10 times before you say something. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.